Okay, we are back, and this is a short promotional video for our next men's study breakfast. And we just finished a 5-week discussion and working through the study of the covenants, really more covenant theology than just the study of the biblical covenants, but really the larger umbrella of covenant theology. And we're going to take not a super hard right, but we're going to take a kind of a right turn into a pretty challenging subject and something of high relevancy for today, both in theology and in the ministry of the church. And it is none other than a study on the Holy Spirit. So I'm calling this study, Who's Afraid of the Holy Spirit?, which is a famous title on a compendium from about 20 some odd years ago. And it's a question that must still be asked. Who is afraid of the Holy Spirit? And again, we're going to study his person and his work, not just his personhood, not just his ministry, as if they're isolated from one another. And I thought I would share just kind of the contours of what we're going to talk about. We're going to try to make it a study, but we're going to try to make it also practical. Lots of good discussion questions on how to understand the person and work of the Holy Spirit and his relevancy into our lives on a daily basis, and most importantly, his work in and amongst his people in the Church of Jesus Christ. And so hopefully it'll be, a really good study, but also very practical in ways that we can immerse ourselves more in the ministry of the Holy Spirit and how he connects us and deepens us into the ministry and work of Jesus Christ. So first, I thought I would just share a couple of the main texts I'm going to be using to work from, to teach, and then hopefully I think some of the goals that we have from this, and hopefully you all will come and engage yourself in it. The first is going to be the well-respected work of Sinclair Ferguson, the Holy Spirit, and on the contours of Christian theology series there. And this is kind of a standard text really for Reformed seminaries. Ferguson is excellent on this, and he's going to be one of the main sources that I will work from and will compare my notes with and be working with and alongside, one of the main. The other will be none other than Herman Bavinck in his 4th volume of his Church Dogmatics. And so that's what we're also going to be doing as well. And then on a side note, we're going to be working through secondarily, kind of also supplementally, the really important work of George Smeaton, 19th century Presbyterian, that Warfield called his book was the best at the time. And I've read it. It's an excellent book as well. Richard Gaffin's book on Pentecost and how to deal with charismatics and also Pentecostal views on the Holy Spirit. And then, of course, J.V. Fesko just came out with the book on sacraments, baptism specifically, but the Spirit's work in baptism as well. So Water, Word, and Spirit by J.V. Fesko. So those will be kind of supplemental things I look at as well, but mainly from Bavinck and from Ferguson. And the hope that we have from this study is that we don't get as mystified maybe by the Holy Spirit and what he's doing, and engage more readily with what he's doing in the church and in the world. And also remember that he's mysterious too. And that there's practical application from it, but sometimes the application is to be full of awe and to be awestruck. And so I hope it'll be a great discussion for all of us. All right.